So I've good news and even better news. This is it. And this is it. Um, and it's not a this or an it, and it's totally and utterly unknowable. And an unknowable can't be known. So this, what is not known as a thing that's unknowable. It's as simply this. It's just what is. And so whatever appears to happen, it's what is. And whatever appears to be being felt or described or thought or sensed is what is. And you can run 1,000,000 miles, you can climb in a cave, you can drink 50 barrels of whiskey, and that will be 50 barrels of whiskey would be a great achievement. And that would be what is. Or you can sit in a cave and meditate, and that would be what is. Or you can come to something that's called a meeting. This is apparently a meeting, and that would be what is. And really what we're talking about is the inexplicable, sudden mystery of something appearing to happen. And this is called something appearing to happen. That's the naming or the description, or that's as much as the story that's going to be told about this. And that's not known as something appearing to happen, but that's as good a description for the inexplicableness. Now, what is includes everything. So what is appears as feeling apart from what is, or feeling once removed from what is, or a movement to know what is, or what is can appear as seeking, as spiritual seeking, as seeking for money, wealth, lovers, power, peace, bliss, whatever is being described. And it seems like there is a gazillion stories for what is, 1,000,000 backstories about what is. And still, this meeting is all that's going to be returned to is the simplicity and suddenness of just what is. But obviously, within the gazillion stories, one where we're gathered probably here is the story of me and how I can make my life better. And the path, or what can be exposed here is that there's a path, a process, or methods that can make my life better. And what's even worse is that which appears to be seeking to make its life better can be exposed as already not being there. So that's the paradox that's immediately that can become apparent with these meetings, that there is already no one seeking. There is already no one trying to get wisdom, attain enlightenment, or the more awkward, to try to know or have no self. And so the other great news and terrible news is that, so the prize that which is sought, this no self, has already occurred. It's just that there is no one there that will see that there is no self. There'd have to be a self there to see something like that. Yeah, it's an empty prize for no one, and so there is no prize because already there is no one. And that's what we're going to talk about here. And that's the dilemma of that which is seeking when greeted with this. And in essence, really, they've come to the worst place and the most a bit pointless, clueless, empty thing ever, because there is nothing on offer here. And that's not a kind of a thing even. So nothing isn't a thing that's on offer. It's not even nothing then. But let's say there's nothing on offer here. And what a wonderful introduction to a meeting. And you know, in a way, like, that is kind of the that's what really can come across, is that really nothing is on offer here, and that this is, it comes back to just suddenly sitting on a chair, breathing, feelings, and then whatever story is going to be told or whatever questions are going to be asked, that's also what is. There's nothing that's once removed or apart. And so if there is a feeling of apartness, that's also what is. And there's, you can't, you know, you can't approach this wrong, or you can't ask a wrong question. There is no question that gets closer or further away to what is. It would be just simply what is. So then this is totally free to be exactly what it appears to be. And so what we're really, really talking about is just this, and this that can't be known, and appears as then a description where a voice is saying this can't be known. And that's what's happening now. There's the sound or hearing of a voice saying this can't be known. And yeah, with that in mind, if you haven't come along to one of these before and there's something there to be asked, then just ask. You just click the unmute button and jump in and go for it. You can't ask, you can't ask a wrong question or a right question. You're not asking it. And you're not wondering about asking it either. It's just what's appearing to happen.
Have you heard a story about Xuan Tzu and a butterfly?
No, I haven't.
No, it's a little complicated. I read it, but
Okay.
it is like Xuan Tzu was a philosopher in ancient China who one night went to sleep and dreamed that he was a butterfly. He dreamed that he was flying around from flower to flower, and while he was dreaming, he felt free, blown about by the breeze hither and thither. He was quite sure that he was a butterfly. But when he awoke, he realized that he had just been dreaming, and that he was really Xuan Tzu dreaming he was a butterfly. But then Xuan Tzu asked himself the following question: was I Xuan Tzu dreaming I was a butterfly, or am I now really a butterfly dreaming that I am Xuan Tzu?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about it, that is Xuan Tzu didn't ask anything. It was just apparently asked. There is no Xuan Tzu. Yeah. And there's no Mika telling that lovely story. And also, the idea of a dream means that there is an awakening. There's just simply what appears to be happening. It's just this.
But some entertaining value.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. I love butterflies. And Xuan Tzu sounds lovely. Thank you.
Hey, Frank.
Hey,
Hey, everyone. Thank you for having this, even though there's no you. Something that's kind of arising is that little kid, you as a parent, when those kids reach a certain age, it's the why, and dad or mom say, you know, what's a rock? It's a bunch of minerals. Why? You end up with nothing. And then they just say because out of frustration, and then it just seems like instead of that little child realizing, man, these guys don't know anything. I don't know anything. It seems like we accept because.
Yeah, or that's the why. That's the why, and go on. Why? That's the why. There you go. Yeah, that's the why, and off with you now.
Right.
Hmm.
But this meeting kind of makes me reflect. There's not me, but it makes it just.
You can't speak wrongly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about that. You can't, you know.
Yeah. It just makes me reflect upon that the human species, interesting species. They never get that why answer, and then they just, and then you end up in this meeting, and it's like, okay, cause the.
Well, in a way, the miracle is why. The suddenness of why appearing. That really kind of is the miracle, that there's somehow a whyness when there's just what is. There isn't a why, but somehow the why comes out, and then it's a rabbit hole opens up of why, you know.
Okay, so that itch is.
In a way, it's kind of a miracle. I mean, there isn't a why, but it's kind of like when then why is asked, well, why this? And then there's no answer to why, because there's another why, and another why, and another why, and another why. Why? And so that's why with the kid, like you said, it's either because or that's the why. So to just, in other words, go on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Another thing, Frank, since no one's speaking right now, is I'm kind of fairly new to this, about a month or whatever, and I was looking at your interviews, a lot of past interviews, and one of the interviews was Martin Ball, and who I know, and about entheogens and stuff, and I myself have done, just an exhaustive number of different things, and one of the talks I think was on 5-MeO, which that particular toad or whatever, that particular non-experience was, I guess, what they call the non-duality drug, and it just, at least it helps this person kind of maybe, can never understand any of this, but the idea of being without a body, or just no center point, no no nothingness, and then the experiencer comes in and claims it afterwards, but I thought that's interesting, and then in my head I thought, boy, it'd be nice to find someone who's actually a seeker on film, searching, and then that me just lifts off, and I realized that's kind of the story. So kind of grateful to be here in this, because it got a recording in the story of nothingness, the apparent story that here this man sits seeking, and then no more. So it's a great,
yeah,
great
in a way
film.
though, I mean, that's, you see, in a way though, the psychedelics kind of are, what they do is seem to create a kind of an image in the mind of what this is. It kind of forms it, and then after the trip, the person goes, well, I've had an unbelievable experience, and that's what this is. Ordinary sitting on the chair is not this. Peak experiences with psychedelics are this. And in a way that can, it seems to be another path, or it's nothing to do. It's more just personal experiences or havings. So it's somehow, sitting drinking a cup of coffee, that's dismissed. Or a big boundless psychedelic experience, well, that's the amazingness. Ordinary, just what is, breathing, thoughts appearing, feelings, sensations, that can't be this. And so all that's been said here is that there's already no one, and there isn't anyone you can't catch hold of this or name it or know it. You can't touch or know your attempt to know this. There's just simply what is, and in that there can be a kind of a wondering about this, or trying to get this, or trying to figure it out, or there can be just what it appears to be. And nothing is known here. Nothing is really, in truth, there's nothing known here. In actual fact, so the people then who've had the brilliant psychedelic experiences that would talk about those, that's to me, that's the same as somebody having an unbelievable cup of coffee. That's no, or they just sat and had a glass of water, or they're just sitting and they were really fucked off about something. That would be the same. That would be this ordinariness. That would be just this. And that's kind of the inexplicable. Like, this is nowhere already. So it seems like this is, we call it, is somehow agreed upon, or appears to be agreed upon, that this is reality. It's known there's a time and a place, and and then this is a meeting and it's about a subject called non-duality. And in actual fact, none of that is what's being described here, that this is really and truly total cluelessness. And so it appears when words are spoken or a voice is talking that they must definitely know something. No, they know absolutely nothing. And so then that's why all of that kind of falls apart. It's not like this is a thing that can be known as nothingness. Call it hell, call it Eden, or call it just, nothing or everything, because no word gets close to the sound or hearing or suddenness of this. This is already nowhere. And that's nothing asking a question. But, then that can appear, those words can appear quite striking as, like you've written there, that's nothing is Joseph. It can appear quite striking to hear that that's no one asking, that all there is asking. So then, and then there's nothing known here. There's nothing here and there's nothing there. But, in a way, that's the much ado about nothing that I think you have in your thingy-majiggy. So it's already too immediately this to be known. So then whatever story can be told about this, that's fine, but it's seen to be a story. And there's no problem with stories. They're just seen to be, or seen through as. So there's no right story or wrong story. There's no explanation for this. It's just this. It's just what it is. And then we're still saying it's just what it is not known. That's just nothing as, an apparent description.
So it's like, so Alexa, it just sits there, and I don't really have any problems with Alexa. Every house that has an Alexa, it's like a tree. It's just with humans, there seems to be the self-awareness. If you're going on a hike, you see 100 trees. Even if a tree falls on you, you don't really carry anything with you. But God forbid a human slaps you, and you carry this story with you all the time. Same thing with Alexa. Alexa, you can interact with it, and maybe she doesn't understand you or whatever, but you don't really harbor. Definitely a human condition that apparently. self-awareness.
So then self-awareness is being described. Self-awareness just seems to be another story that's been told almost to make this real. So I know I'm aware. Okay, grand then. Or, there's self-awareness for this or for that. Okay, that's what's being described then. So the response really here is just, there's no response to self-awareness apart from this. It's a story. And then, when you're talking about interactions with humans, or somebody says you're a dickhead, and there's a response going, what do you mean? I mean, like, this isn't a state. It's not like a once removedness from somebody coming up behind you in the car and blowing you out of it. And you go, oh, there's nobody here, so there's no reaction. Like, that's just a total idea, an imagination of this again. And it's an imagination or an image held that that there's a state that can be had, that this will be non-reactive. It won't sit on the horn or slam on the brakes and let the other car go flying into it. I mean, that's a possibility. It's anything and everything. This is totally unknowable. And that's not a kind of a once removed sort of Zen image of peace and bliss. It includes everything, any reaction, any possibility, any thought. And you can't get close to this. You can't you can't get close, or you can't get far away from what is. It's just what is. And there isn't you and what is. It's just what is. So it's totally free then, just to be exactly how, and it's not how it is. So it's not an image of freedom of, raw. It's just free. There's no one free. It's just freedom to be exactly how it appears to be being. And that includes everything then. And totally ordinary then. Totally ordinary. Just sitting, breathing, thoughts. Not some magical, mystical image of, you know what I mean? Cross-legged and calm and wise. Thankfully.
Hello, Frank. Nice to see you.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine, thank you. This is my first time online with you.
Okay.
And now a question came up. So what you're talking about, of course, is not in time, right?
No, what I'm talking about is just what is.
Yeah. So it's not like like the things that appears in time. That's not it at all, right?
No, there is no time.
Yeah.
There's just what's appearing to happen, including everything.
Then my question is then how can they be talking about it? Talking seems to be, sequencing in time. one word after the other. So this seems now like, well, like a funny enigma. Do we have any comment?
You see, it's not even an enigma, it's impossible, because it appears like, of course, that when there's someone, that there's something being talked about here, that there's nothing being talked about here. There's nothing being described. And even that, like, that's supposed to be a sentence then to kind of describe the inexplicableness of this. And like, where do you begin and end with the mystery? Where does it begin and end? It doesn't begin and end. There's just, well, you know, you can say there's just what's appearing to happen. And whatever story then can be told about that. And so then they might be trying to figure out, well, how you know, is there no time if a sentence can be digested, and, you know, when there's a sequence of words and then there's a point apparently being made. In a way, like, this is the absence of time. Even mentioning the word time suggests that they're, you know, saying then there must be a thing that's not time. So this is the absence of time.
And you
So
mean that it's
anything
saying
there isn't anything that'll make this kind of safe or knowable. Like, this is lost at sea, or, you know, this is the for never after, let's just say, or there's just simply what is. And saying there's just simply what is doesn't cut this, doesn't cut the sudden explicableness of this. And this isn't known as a thing called what is. It's not like there's here and then over there is what is. This is already so intimately the hearing of, this is already so intimately the hearing of, that you can't catch it, and nor can you catch the attempt to kind of know this through, well, is there time? There must be time if the, we're talking about the immediacy of just.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny to be at this place, because it's so it's yeah, I enjoyed listening to this. You know, it's kind of tickling the ability to understand things in a way. I'm not even trying to make sense now. I just found it yeah, enjoyable. What
Yeah,
say,
tickly is a great word. in a way, what is constantly tickling as you. In a way, you know, it's a lovely word, tickling, because there is just what is, but sometimes tickling can be fucking torture.
Yeah, yeah,
and that's not a funny torture. It's just, what can you say? It's what is as torturous, or as whatever is appearing to happen. It's totally and utterly unknowable. And this is authorityless. And there's not, you know, there's nothing here that's known. In actual fact, that it's known perhaps there, that there is, you know, there might be a thing called non-duality, or there's a here or there. This is totally just, you know, so immediately just what is. Tickling you. I'm gonna nick that.
yeah, you can have it.
Okay, now, thank you. It's going to be called tickling. Yeah.
Yeah, nice talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.
So Frank, so there isn't a knower to know nothing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There isn't someone that can know that there's no one. There isn't a somebody that is a nobody that can know that there's no self. There's already no self. There was never a self doing anything.
That Socrates quote, "I know that I know nothing. This is wisdom." That's just the one that's that's duality.
No, yeah, I mean it's knowing that you know nothing. Okay, you know, that's the way I'd look at that. It's kind of all right. I know that I know nothing, and then I don't know that I know. It's just it's more havings, and I don't even know what I don't know is. Which, you know, that's another sentence. It's just no words get close to the suddenness of just simply this, just simply breathing, thoughts appearing, questions appearing, or whatever is felt. And this, what's responding, has no clue how to respond. It just appears to be a response. Do you know? And so there it probably has felt, well, you know, I know how to talk. Of course I know how to talk. I know what I'm saying. Well, in actual fact, really, okay, that might be what is being described, but here it doesn't, like here is the same. There's no one there talking, and this is no one responding. And in actual fact, then it's just sounds, just hearing. And then somebody come along and go, but, okay, well, that's then just what's being felt or described. And there's nothing that can, you know, that is, if life is felt as real, and it's neither real or unreal, it's just what it appears to be. Like this, there's just this. And that's, you know, what can be said? Well, then whatever is going to be said. And what's the reaction then? Well, whatever reaction is the reaction, you know. So it's just nothing to do with knowing, and it's nothing to do with unknowing. This can't be known then as a thing that's, oh, it's unknowing. Okay, right. There's no word that gets close or further away. So it's just nothing to do with knowing. Or, I mean, somebody else can come along and go, well, this is this, and I know it. And, all right, okay. Okay, that's great. You know, that's great then. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
So it's free, like it's not bound by words or held by knowledge. You know, that's entering the gates of hell, really, is if this could be held or bound by sentences. Then it'd be in a book, then it could be shared, then it could be passed on when it is as everything. It's just, you know, it's just this. And so you can hear nothing appearing as everything, or nothing as everything, or just simply what is. And worst meeting ever.
It's a great mind melt.
Yeah, there's nothing in it, like really and truly for that which is looking for something. There's really just nothing, like it's that, and that's amazing, amazing, and terrible, and head-buttingly banging the head against the wall, terrible. Because what do you mean nothing? I can't do anything with nothing. No. But there's nothing known here. This is nothing sounding, or just sounds, just hearing. And it's so immediately inexplicable and can't be known as it. You see, it's just nothing to do with knowing at all. And almost the movement, nothing pushes anything away. But the movement to know this is kind of like, is endless, you know, because it's as trying to know this. That's the best that. So suddenly then it's just what's appearing to happen. So trying to figure out this or that or whatever. But that's just what is.
Oh, what a relief.
For no one.
No one, yeah.
It's just, there's nothing that can be, you see, already there is no one. Woohoo! It's wonderful and horrible. I mean, I totally get the horrible part, and it's just what it appears to be. It's just what appears to be, and there's no knowing then that it's just what it appears to be. It's kind of whatever is being described. This is nothing being described. It sounds like there's a lot of words coming out, and that I might be saying something. I'm not saying anything. There's nothing known here.
Just utter void.
You see, it's not an image of utter void. This is emptiness full to the brim with the hearing of it's an utter void. And a void then is kind of another image that is in the mind, which is that can almost be handled as a kind of a murky nowhereness. This is nowhereness. This already. And so it's called sitting on a chair, and this is a computer, and this is a meeting. So almost it's kind of then can be safe. It's not safe, like. And in a way, like, there's the idea, like there's non-duality is an apparent, it's subject, right? So, but there's not much to be done with non-duality, really. It's evidently not a subject. But what can happen is that, oh, sure, look, I know there's no one, and I know if there's just this, but give me something, give me a story, about the park or boundlessness, or not. Don't tell me it's just sitting on a chair. I hate when you say it's just sitting on a chair and breathing. Because it's stories. Like, it's just like, so saying it's a story is a story. Say, just using, saying that it's sitting on a chair and breathing and feeling and whatever, that makes it then kind of, oh, okay, well, but it's just, it's too immediately even just what is. And so then with what do you mean, what is? I don't know, it's just what is, that's good enough. That'll do. And it's still just what is then. So whatever then is being felt or thought or sensed or whatever is the miracle. Is nothing as that. But that's not noble. They're just words. They mean nothing, like. There's nothing in here that you can put your hat on and go, right, yeah, I got to the bottom of this non-duality thing now. Because, there's no getting to the bottom of anything.
Yeah, like endless quicksand.
It can, yeah, okay, yeah. nothing is the killer, and nothing is, you could say, unconditional love, but that romanticizes it to that which objectifies the word love. But you know, really nothing. Fuck off, nothing. You're not holding a meeting about nothing. It's not even about nothing. It's not, there isn't a thing called nothing.
It's just as it is.
What's that? Sorry, Anita, I heard you, I think, saying it's just as this
Yes.
and this.
Yes.
Yeah. Inescapable, what is?
Yeah. Inescapable. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you for the unconditional love.
It's no one's. Wonderfully.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Frank.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a
Frank.
lovely evening. See you later.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Bye. Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks.
See you.
Ciao.